Today on Running to Him.
God uses circumstances to direct what He wants us to do. Today's reading from the reading plan is Genesis chapter 31, verses 1 through 21, and we will concentrate on verses 17 and 18. Genesis 31, verses 17 and 18 says, "Then Jacob arose and put his children and his wife upon camels, and he drove away all his livestock and all his property which he had gathered, his acquired livestock which he had gathered at Paddan-aram, to go to the land of Canaan to his father Isaac." There are many ways with which God communicates with us. He may visit us in a dream while we are reading scriptures, in our prayer, and even when we're doing something not directly related to Him. You probably experienced that truth in your life. I'm sure that over time, Jacob's relationship with Laban had its ups and downs. Even under normal circumstances, relationships take work. And when two people only have their own self-interest in mind, relationships become strained and most of the time fall apart. The more wealth Jacob obtained, the more strained his relationship with Laban and his brother-in-laws became. Finally, the relationship reached a breaking point. His brothers-in-law stopped marveling at the wealth he had gained and started to believe that somehow he was stealing it from them. Laban also changed his relationship with Jacob. He now believed that Jacob was no longer someone who he could manipulate, but rather an enemy whom he must combat. Leah and Rachel also recognized a change in their standing within their birth family. Their comments about their being sold reflected their belief that they had been abandoned and that they were now treated as foreigners. After my father died and we moved back to Connecticut, a friend of my mother and father began a relationship with me. We became very close and shared some very moving adventures for the year before I was drafted. This relationship continued for a number of years, and after Tony and I left the Army, Uncle George, as I had begun to call him, even contemplated moving to Dallas to be with us after his wife died. He became so close to us that our oldest son carried his full name, George Park Cross, with Jacobus just tacked on at the end. Well, one day Uncle George wrote that he had reestablished a relationship with a female friend of his deceased wife, and asked if we thought it was proper for him to remarry. We felt compelled to speak with him about his relationship with Christ, and in the letter back to him, we reaffirmed that we didn't have a problem with his being married. Unfortunately, we included an inartfully constructed paragraph about needing a relationship with Christ. He took it as an insult and sent back a curt letter saying that we would never hear from him again. Our relationship ended because our motives were misunderstood, similarly as Laban and his sons misunderstood Jacob's motives and success. How bad the relationship with Laban had become is shown through Jacob and his entire household being able to leave without Laban knowing. The Tanakh translates the word deceived in verse 20 as outwitted. The Septuagint uses the word hid to describe how he left for his homeland. In any event, Jacob left unannounced. God had used the deterioration of Jacob and Laban's relationship to let Jacob know it was time to go home.
Thank you for listening. We pray that today's devotion was meaningful to you. We would love to hear from you. You can use either Facebook or YouTube to like, subscribe, share, and tell others about us. If you would like to contact us, you can reach me at phineasjacobus@runningtohim.net.